should be an interesting matchup.
Now, I don't know Stripes, nor do I know too much about Malik, specifically his ZVP. But what I'm hoping for is Stripes goes for a 1-gate expand, and Malik goes for 3 hatch.
Alright, so in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the player from Paragons of Perfection. We have Stripes.
And up in the top right, we have, playing for TrpleT, Malik.
Alright, very nice. So far everything's looking fairly normal. No weird proxies coming out from Protoss, it seems. As he just puts a pylon down in his main base.
Okay. So it looks like it probably won't be a Forge Fast expand.
Yeah. I find a lot of people, Protosses anyway, are putting pylons on the low ground now, so it's interesting to see it at the high ground, but nothing really to look too much into, I feel. Yep, gateway expand, so far you're right.
Okay. So I guess he'll be able to get out his fast warp gate tech. Or faster and quicker mothership core.
Yeah, interestingly, Malik is going patch first, which against gateway expand is perfectly fine.
Oh.
It gets risky when they forge fast expand, because that's just begging to be cannon rushed.
Which, as we all know, it's the Protosses are always happy to oblige. But we have a gas and another pylon going down in Stripes main. And okay,
I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I've played Protoss, and when I did, I didn't really know any build orders. I just blinked all in every game. Yeah. So I can't really read into much, but he does. It's interesting to me seeing the wall on the high ground instead of the low ground. So I think there's gonna be some like early Stalker and Zealot pressure with Mothership Core, but that's pretty much conjecture here. There's no gas out for Malik yet, so we'll see what that turns into.
He looks like he's going for a quick third. So he does say that it is in fact a gateway.
Yep, and he was over there scouting for the cannons, because cannons will ruin your day.
Oh man, yeah. So I guess it is a 1-gate expand. Which, I guess it makes sense having the wall off on the high ground, because it is a pretty wide wall in the natural. And most most Zergs tend to go pool first. Although Malik went ballsy and didn't.
The natural is now being started for Stripes, and gas is done, so. And Mothership Core is out. Of course, will help him with the early defense, as well as some aggression I'm thinking is coming, but we'll have to find out.
A quick third going up for Malik, so always good. Zerg always wants to be 1 base ahead of their opponent.
Oh, and 2 more gateways go down. He's opting not to go with Forge at this point. Oh, see, I want to know if he's going to put down a Twilight Council or a Forge and get +1 attack.
Yeah, if he throws down a Forge and a Twilight Council, he could go for a 2-base Blink all-in with +2.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice cannon placement. But he doesn't have the Forge land like we've just stated, so he won't be cannoning the third, but it is a nice place to warp in.
So I figure he'll probably warp in 3 Zealots. I don't think he'll force a cancel, but we've only just now got a few links out for Malik, so.
I also like, it's a pretty small thing, but he kept 1 sentry at home before he warped in, and it just lets him prevent any sort of Zergling run-bys, or he can buy extra time if needed. So the third does finish. and Malik doesn't really have anything at this point to deal with it. The Roach Warren is not yet complete.
No, and he doesn't have nearly enough links, so that third is going to fall.
Yes, this will fall. He's 2 lings, now 20 earned production, but he's a total of 12 lings, and that's not really going to fend off 6 zealots.
So note, his speed is just now 5 seconds off of finishing. So I feel that if he wanted to, he could probably pick off all those zealots. But
it'd be hard, I think. Yeah, if he gets a nice round, he definitely has enough.
Oh yeah. So he should be able to hold this.
Oh, okay, recall out of there.
Okay. Not a bad trade. I don't think he lost anything.
In the units lost tab, 400 are lost for Malik and only 50 for Stripes. So I'd say that probably Stripes is ahead. He's even on workers, and he killed that base. So I'd say he's a little ahead now. Big Zergling movement at the front, but I don't feel like they're going to break through. There are a lot of zealots and that sentry there.
No.
He does pick off his zealot for his trouble.
If you had like 3 or 4 banelings, and that would be another story, but...
Oh wow, is he? He's sending a queen across the map. Is that a mistake?
Yeah, that's a mistake.
He's pulling it back now.
I'm surprised he didn't pick off that pylon, because now there's another zealot that's going to try and force a cancel, so that did get spotted. I think Malik intends to go off.
Yeah, there are 3 more gateways going down for Stripes. And with the robotics facility, I would think it's going to be an immortal sentry on.
Well, that'll be interesting, because it looks like Malik is preparing to go for a Roach Lingle, and I don't see any more drones in the production tab.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I would think because he has all these units out, he should be able to hold it. And there's 1 pylon on the top left-hand side of the map that he's going to be warping in. It's not the closest pylon. And he's still only producing units.
What'll be interesting to see is if Stripes had +1 attack, then I would say that quite likely this would be more than...
Engagement has come through. The Zealots are chewing up the Zerglings. But I don't know it's going to be
those roaches need to focus the Immortals.
Right. The Immortals are just proving to be too much. Everything is going to die. The roaches are trying to run away. Some roaches are streaming in as reinforcements. I think they just need to pull back and regroup, and they do.
Yeah, there's no speed, and there is lair tech. But speed is only just finishing now, it's too late. I'm pretty sure that third is going to die.
I wouldn't say it's too late now. I'd like to see some more Zerglings, because there aren't very many Zealots left. But we'll see.
He did just warp, Stripes did just warp in 7 Zealots. I'm pretty sure that third will fall.
Yeah, it looks like Malik is going to give up the third and not risk losing his whole army.
Yeah.
Good play from him, I think.
But it'll come down to is if he can hold the natural. I don't know if 2 spines are going to be enough against those 2 Immortals.
That is true. He does have queens for transfuses.
And that is a lot of stalkers, though, as well.
That is a lot of Protoss. From Stripes, I'd really like to see a closer pylon. That pylon was really far away. He appears to be trying to come around the backside. That will negate the effect of the Zealots on the Zerglings, but there just aren't that many.
Yeah, he just gave an easier engagement to Stripes. But I'd like to see him do is focus a Mothership Core with the Queens. So.
And he does, he gets it. There will be no recall.
So now, if he focuses down the Immortals, he could possibly hold this.
It will be close. It's hard for the Protoss to keep pushing, but to be honest, even if he doesn't win the game here, I think he's done enough damage at this point.
Yeah, 1 Immortal falls, and the other one's... He's not focus firing the Immortals like he needs to. And more Zealots being warped into the top left.
You don't see any real big tech switches from either player. They're just content on throwing units at each other right now. One spawn does fall. Another one getting transfused very well.
Yeah, a few more roaches being brought in, but I think Stripes has done it.
I think he has to. The longer that this push is going on, the longer they're on even economies, the better it's looking for Protoss.
Oh yeah.
Some nice micro there, keeping the Immortal alive. And there are just so many Stalkers.
Yeah. At this point, you'd need probably 30 lings, 40 lings. There just isn't the larva production.
Yeah, that is true. And he keeps on making roaches. In my opinion, they're not the best answer to this kind of push. I really like Zerglings. They get a nice surround and do a lot of damage, even the Stalkers.
Honestly, I think Malik could have easily held this with roaches had he focused the Immortal down sooner. At this point, it's too late. That Immortal has 29 kills.
That is true. Immortals do 30 bonus damage versus armored units, and that's a GG.
So that's 1-0 for Stripes, or well, for ParaOP right now.
Yeah, that was a good game. Pretty well executed. I guess is an Immortal and Gateway unit all in. So that was a good game. I don't think I'm in the lobby. I can probably get there. All right, so I'm not in the lobby, so I don't know who's going next. I'm still in the party, but.
Now, that is a bit strange. So normally when I see the Immortal push, generally they have at least +1 attack.
Yeah, I agree. That was strange. Either that or a little earlier with a whole bunch of sentries and just Immortal Sentry. But he built a lot of Stalkers, so usually that does come with +1 attack, or sometimes +2. But it worked out for him, so I can't be too critical.
I know. Well, I'm not in Diamond, and I certainly don't play Protoss, so.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Now,
do you see the lobby screen? Probably not, right?
The lobby?
Yeah.
I don't believe the next lobby's been created yet.
Okay, great. I was just afraid that the game was gonna start, and I was still just sitting here.
Wait, actually, that happened once before. Who is that with? I don't think that was you, because this is our first time casting. Who was it with?
Was it a Shaden?
Yeah, I think it was a Shaden got left out of or didn't get invited by accident.
Stuff. They're two pretty popular casters of ours. Shout out to them.
Oh.
So it appears that Beta Dre, our Terran player, will be the next one up against, I'm assuming, Stripes. This should be a best of 7 all kill format. Clan War.
I'm pretty sure you are right. Yep. Best of 7 all kill.
Waiting for the party to load up.
And Beta's picked Sejong Station.
Now, both of us are Zerg players, and Beta Dre is a Terran player. Stripes, obviously, we just saw as a Protoss player. So it'll be interesting to see a matchup that neither of us get to see very often.
Well, I do play some Terran, but mainly I play Terran mech, so my experience with TVP is not pleasant.
Yeah, the extent of my Protoss versus Terran matchup knowledge is Blink All-Ins used to be really strong.
The 3-gate Blink-All-In, or just 4 gateways at a pylon near their base?
Pylon near the base in a mothership core for Blink. It's been a long time. It's been like a year since I played Protoss. So, all right, the players are ready. Just waiting on the game to start.
Yep, you're right. Stripes and Beta are ready. So it'll be a TVP.
All right, the game is loading up. 8 seconds left on the countdown. I've actually seen Beta play quite a fair amount on his stream, and I don't know if I've ever played against him. And he's a player who we commonly field for Clan War, and he's pretty solid. He's a consistent player. I can't really say if he goes bio more often or mech more often. I would assume bio because that's more standard, but he's a solid player and isn't afraid to get behind and then get ahead using his drops. Or at least that's how I imagine him, what I think of when I think of Beta Dre.
Well, I have cast him twice, and he did drop pretty well both times.
All right, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Terran player who appears to be lifting off. No, okay.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, misclick there. All right, the bottom Terran player who is not lifting off from terrifying third teamwork, Beta Dre.
And in the top left, playing for ParaOP and currently 1-0, we have Stripes. So I don't know how Beta's TVP is. I've seen him play TVT, and both times were Marine Tank.
Yeah, that's pretty standard in that matchup.
Yeah.
I've seen his TVZ a lot. I pay like closer attention to it because I am a Zerg player myself. I know that's really good. So we'll see what happens. I always find it interesting supply depot placements in the early part of the game in non-Zerg matchups. If you notice the Beta Dre's, it's just like in the middle.
Yeah,
and so is his racks. I don't get it, but I'm sure there's a reason to it.
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask him, there is a reason. But I know that if you wall off your ramp, then if you're getting Blink Island or 4-gated, and they have the mothership core, say, over top of the plates, then the stalkers can shoot your supply depots while your marines are out of range. So I know that's why you don't wall off first Protoss.
That is a helpful piece of information if I ever pick up Terran. Terran is hard, man. It's hard.
Oh, the micro is difficult until you get to Widow Mines.
So we have 2 gases over for Stripes. We have a 2 in one and 1 in the other. Seems a little awkward to me. Perhaps it's a very well timed out timing attack. If this probe can stay hidden in his base, that would be significant.
It looks like the Reaper is going to kill it as soon as it spawns, then go scout.
Yeah.
What'll be interesting is if Stripes decides to start his warp gate research as soon as Cybernetics finishes, which is most likely.
Yeah, he's been saving up his Chrono Boost. And as I say that, he Chrono Boosts his Nexus and the warp gate.
It'll be interesting.
He wants to get the mothership core out fast. That's an interesting play.
I wonder why
Perhaps defense. I think it's for defense against the Reaper.
Well, he's also making a Stalker, which he doesn't need if he has the mothership core. But it'll be interesting to see if he decides to throw down a Nexus or 2 or 3 more gateways in the next minute. Which it looks like he'll be going for a Nexus.
So the Reaper didn't do too much damage. Then maybe got 1 probe kill, the scouting probe.
Yeah, okay, so he does throw down a Nexus, and Beta's command center is substantially ahead, actually.
Yeah, it appears Stripes is going for a Stargate opening. It'd be nice, I would think, to see an Oracle first. Oracles have that potential to just win the game if the player's unprepared.
So easily. But Beta does have a reactor on his barracks, and he's still getting constant marine production.
Yeah, and an engineering bay is going down behind his mineral line, so that will allow turrets, I believe, to be built.
I hope that he also goes for +1, because both times that I have casted him, I have noted that he was a bit weak on his bio upgrades. But I don't know if that's because TVT Marine tank, if they're not as important or not.
And that Oracle is coming out soon. It's about a fifth of the way done. Is opting not to chrono boost that, but opting to chrono boost out the warp gate research that is already finished.
Okay, and he's throwing down a robotics bay. So
that's interesting to me.
With the robotics,
like the Oracle might only be for this little bit of harass. Maybe he'll make 2. No, he's sending that one pretty far across the map.
I think the robotics base, he wants to get 2 or 3 observers out to scout for drops. And then he's probably going to move into Colossus. And just maybe take a 3rd when he gets his Colossus out, or do a 2-base Colossus push.
Would be an interesting play. The forge is finished, so he will be getting upgrades, something he neglected in the last game. So, much to Stripes' dismay, there is a turret in the main. And the Oracle flying into the main. The Marine was shooting at it. And the turret might take it out.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And that right there puts Beta Dre ahead.
He's substantially ahead. Although Beta was scouted, so I don't know if Stripes saw their tech lab being put on the factory, but he did see that there were 2 more factories down. So it makes me think that Beta is going for some kind of a really strong Hellbat Marauder push or something.
Yeah, the armory is down, and I don't believe, I'm checking the vision now, he did not see the armory. Perhaps he saw... No, he did not see the armory.
Is he going full mech? He's got +1 mech upgrades going.
To be going for a Hellbat-centric push. We'll see where that takes him.
Yeah, I think he's going mech. He's getting a siege tank.
Yeah.
He's got constant marine production going. I would like to see him, as I was about to say, I would like to see that he'd get Infernal Pre-Igniter so his Hellbats can chew through Zealots, but he just started that. And at this point, Stripes has no idea that that's happening.
Yeah, he did not see the armory. He does not know that he can be making Hellbats at this time. Well, he did see the 2 factories. So
he's seen all 3 of them, but he probably assumes it's Biomine, but he can see the Hellbats with his observer.
Yes, the observer is quite a tiny scout. We'll see just about everything. We'll see the upgrade. Oh, he will not see the upgrade for the armory, but he does see the 3 factories.
So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, so there is a Colossus out now. Okay, so Stripes is getting an Immortal, and he does have +1 ground attack, and he is getting +1 armor.
He does have the robotics bed with 11 build Colossus, but he is not upgrading the thermal lance, and he's opting to build an Immortal right now rather than Colossus. So I feel like right now, if Beta J is pushing, which he looks like he might be moving out right now. Oh, he did build a Colossus. My mistake.
I feel like he can actually do a lot of damage with this.
Yes, exactly. And he's still producing Hellbats, 4 of them right now. And a siege tank. He is expanding behind it, so he's not all in.
No, if he can shut down Stripes' 3rd, and then commit on the natural as mech has to commit, like those tanks have to be able to siege up somewhere.
If you take a quick look at the army supply tab, he's up about 30. He's up 29 in army supply right now, which is a significant number. If he could take out this 3rd, I would definitely like his position. He does siege up.
He is going to have to focus those Marines on that Immortal, though. Otherwise, his tanks won't be here for long.
Colossus is taking a lot of damage. Tanks are starting to get out. He is in range of the Mothership Cannon, but a lot of Protoss is just dying. There's a lot of Terran units left.
I actually really like this push.
Yeah.
He was opting to fight the Nexus with his Hellbats, but he's pulling back now.
Yeah, now, he's taking a fairly commanding supply lead. He's up 23 in overall supply, and for all intents and purposes, shut down the third.
And now he's able to commit his tanks on the natural like he needs to.
He's killing a bunch of workers at the natural, only 10 mining minerals there.
And he does have +2 attack going as well on his mech.
True, looks like the natural will fall.
So, while
he could just get out of there now, I think, and be comfortable with his lead.
Honestly, I think he can go commit on the natural. The only thing Stripes has that's really scary is that Immortal. Although, actually, he does... He does
have, a little scary.
He is down to 3 Marines, so that Void Ray could do damage.
Yeah, a great play by Beta J taking out the third. It's very easy for players to just forget about it after killing the natural.
But now, he's still rallying his units across the map. And he is floating minerals, so he does need to start mining the gases in his natural and at his third.
Yeah, I agree. The engagement is still going on. He's taking just such a big lead.
Look at
32 probes to 50 probes with mules added onto that. But the game's not over. He will clean up this last tank. But I definitely think that Beta J is a significant lead.
I am a bit concerned though, because Stripes does not have 2 Immortals and that Void Ray, and it looked like he was going to start pushing out, and Beta, all that he really has is he doesn't have any anti-air. He has 2 tanks and 10 Hellbats.
That is a very apt analysis.
Okay, so
yes, he does have 1 Viking in production, but that's not enough. I think with all these stalkers and a Void Ray, that Void Ray can single-handedly hurt him. I think he needs to just pull his units back and
he needs
to the marine, to the bunker and to the turrets for the time being until he has significant anti-air.
Well, that first Viking should be popping out, and a Viking, if it kites, can kill a Void Ray, but that Void Ray is gonna kill his tank.
Wow, the Widowman shot did not get the connection it needed. It barely took out half his shields on the Void Ray.
No.
The Viking is doing significant damage, and you definitely hold.
That +2 attack is just, those stalkers just don't stand a chance.
The natural is back down for the Protoss player, but to be honest, I don't know how much utility he's going to get out of it. He's keeping on sending more and more units down at this bottom left-hand corner.
It's 53 workers to 32.
I feel like he wants to push harder and maybe try and kill a third, but I just don't see it happening. Beta J is just too many units.
Mech
He's
OP.
picking up that Widowman for free, and the Hellion, so that was the smallest of victories.
Yeah, and as soon as, like right now, Stripes is backing up, and right now, honestly, I think Beta just needs to go and commit on the natural again.
Yeah, I agree. I think Stripes realized how far ahead Beta J was, so he opts the pullback, get +3 attack, and try and macro out of it.
Beta's random SCV in the middle did see the army moving back.
I feel like that Beta J has 2 options right at this point. Take a 4, keep macroing, get further ahead, or just attack and try and kill him. I think not doing either, I think staying on 3 bases is how you can find yourself getting behind.
He is opting to, looks like, start building a Thor, but...
Yeah, he did build the sensor towers, which would lead me to believe that he's looking to build a 4.
Honestly, I don't know if I like that. I think he should just commit on the natural and then try and move into the main.
I agree. I feel like he's just overwhelmingly ahead. He's like, what, 70 supply ahead in army supply? he just scanned the whole army for Stripes, and then he decides he can move out.
Yeah, Stripes doesn't have enough money, and that's going back to he is up to 42 probes now, but Beta has 67 SCVs on top of 3 mules called down at the moment, and he can call down one more and then another one in a couple of seconds.
sus3 is so close to finishing. I feel like he should wait for it, but to be honest, I don't feel like it's gonna matter. There's so many Terran units.
There's 6 tanks and 32 Hellbats, I think, 34 Hellbats. This is one-sided.
It's gonna evaporate, and that should be the game. There's just so many Hellbats, no micro needed.
I think Beta caught Stripes off guard by going mech.
Yep. GG. That's a good game.
Oh yeah.
TrpleT ties it up 1-1.
Which actually, I'd like to know. Actually, we were talking before the game started about how we had limited knowledge, and I talked about how I played mech, so my experience versus Protoss was not very happy. I think I'm going to have to start trying that kind of build.
Chat is just funny. Alright. That should appear off stream, I don't know. But, so, we have a tied up series, 1-1, with a Terran player out. And I'm sure that our opponents are looking at BetaJ's statistics, looking at his match history, trying to see which matchup is his weakest. And I'm doing the same right now.
I'm curious now.
His TVT does not appear to be too good. At least the season is new, and sometimes it gets skewed, which is likely the case.
Let's look overall. His TVZ is really strong, but it looks like his TVT and TVP are generally his weaker matchups.
Yeah, overall, TVP is his weaker matchup, but even in his weaker matchup, he just took a game off Stripes, who proved himself to be a very good player. So.
And he did it using mech, so.
And he did do it using mech, which was a little odd, but it worked very well. It'd be very interesting, in my opinion, if ParaOP fielded a Zerg player.
I would like to see that, because mech works really well versus Zerg.
Yeah, I would like to see it too. BetaJ is a good TVZ player, a good player in general. And I would love to see some Terran versus Zerg. It's my favorite matchup of all 9 to both watch and play.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that background noise, so. But I agree. I do look forward to seeing who gets fielded next after this.
I think it's someone new to the party, just joined. I'm not certain, so I'm going to assume it's him. And I'll look at his profile to find out what's going on. It's loading up. He appears to be a Terran player, which, if they looked at his statistics to make the decision, that was a wise choice. He has a 60% win rate in Terran versus Terran. So, should be a tough task, but I look forward to watching it.
I agree.
We're waiting on some players to accept the invite into the lobby. And as I said, we have entered. The map is Foxtrot Labs LE. And I was right, it will be a Terran versus Terran on Foxtrot. 1-1. Both players are ready. Just waiting on the host to begin the game. Actually, one player is ready. BetaJ is ready. Maniac Jace, the next player for ParaOP, is not. Hopefully it is not too much longer. Alright, Maniac Jace is now ready. So the game should begin soon.
Sorry about... Okay, my mic is on now, right?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, sorry about that. I just didn't want to have the vacuum in the background running through everything.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Nobody likes the sound of that.
You say you play a little bit of Terran.
Mech specifically.
Mech specifically, which Beta Dre showcased last match. Where do you feel Foxtrot Labs in Terran versus Terran?
I'm not entirely certain. As you can see, it is a very large main, so you can't really go pure mech until the late game when you have about 1,000 turrets all around. Otherwise, you just get dropped to death. But that said, I don't know of any way to go pure bio in TVT, because otherwise one tank will shred you.
That is true. All right, let's start off the introductions with the Maniac Jace spawning in back right corner in red.
And in the top left, we have Beta Dre looking to hopefully go mech again.
Yep, the series is indeed tied 1-1. So this map, as you're talking about the main, and we get a nice view of it, or had a nice view of it right there, as a narrow ramp but it's just such a huge main. I would think, I haven't had to me yet, but it's possible to proxy something in there even. It is such a big main.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
How awful would an in-base Reaper proxy be?
Oh man.
That'd be a self-esteem hit, to say the least.
A proxy.
There's just so much fog of war in there.
Like a proxy 2 rocks right above the gases, like right behind.
Yeah, it'd be rough. Is a proxy or not? Wow, it's a gas first opening by Maniac Jace. So I think that would mean a Reaper's gonna come out.
Yep,
that would make sense to me.
Faster Reaper, or going for a fast factory into Hellions, or faster Banshee. And Beta did decide to go barracks first.
Yeah, and Beta is producing a Marine. So no super early aggression, I would feel. And a Marine does come out. Oh, was it cancelled? No, it was restarted from Maniac Jace.
Okay, so Maniac is going to go for a fast factory. So it'll be key here is if he puts a reactor on the barracks or if he puts a tech lab on the factory.
If he puts a tech lab on the factory, what do you think would happen? What's the follow-up from that?
He throws down a starport.
Upgrade complete.
And we're getting like Banshees? Or just standard
He could
stuff?
go for a Raven Viking blind counter for a Banshee. But it looks like Beta's probably going to go for some Hellions. He is putting a reactor on his barracks.
That is true, and he takes down the second gas, as does Maniac Jace. His gas is a little ahead, so he'll be a little gas heavier throughout the start of the game.
Okay, so Maniac is in fact going to go for either a Banshee or a Raven as he throws down a tech lab on his factory.
I would like to see a Banshee come out from Maniac Jace, because I feel, in my limited knowledge of Terran versus Terran, that unless your opponent makes a Raven, unless your opponent makes a Banshee, the Raven doesn't really have that much utility in the early parts of the game.
Well, a Seeker Missile will absolutely devastate a line of Marines, but it looks like they're both going to be doing the same thing, more or less. Reactor
is coming out.
Okay, so it is going to be a Banshee. But Beta does have reactored Marines, and he is starting a missile turret, so he knows that there's likely going to be Banshees. And he's probably going to go into a Raven if he threw down the missile turrets as well. Unless if he decides to go for his own Banshee. And Beta did just throw down a command center.
Yeah, he appears to be very economically focused this game. The turret, extra defense, instead of trying to counter it with a Raven, be more aggressive with a Raven or something. And no expansion yet coming out from the Red Terran player, Maniac Jace.
Okay,
So,
Beta is going for his Raven. But what'll be... I am curious as to why he decided to delay that buff by about 20 seconds.
Yeah, and those 20 seconds are basically what's preventing him from having it right now and stopping this Raven. So it's going to take some micro, like turrets do get some nice shots off on it.
Now, one thing to note is that if Banshees are controlled just about perfectly, then Marines can be kited by a Banshee.
The Raven is out, that mobile detection is very strong against Banshee.
Okay, so he's going to have to pull an SCV to repair that tech lab. And he threw down an auto turret. Interesting.
Yeah, that will prevent the Banshee from flying back in from that direction for the next, I don't know, a minute or so, maybe 2, depending on how long the missile turret stays up. And Maniac Jace is going for a command center in position at his natural.
Okay. Beta is going... He did just throw down 2 more barracks, one of which is on a reactor. So it looks like he is going to be going into the Marine tank, or as I prefer to call it, Biomech. But I would like to see him... He does have the gas for it. I would like to see him start his +1 attack on his Marines.
That is true. He's very gas heavy at this point, with over 500 in the bank. And
Yeah.
have a lot of gas, you need to make things that cost a lot of gas. Perfect example of that is Stim, which he just started about 15-20 seconds ago, as well as +1 upgrades, be it armor or attack. It would be nice to see the Banshee killing a few Marines.
Okay, so the Banshee, I don't know, I don't really think it's paid for itself. It has got 4 kills, but it did also get off a bit of scouting, but he put a pretty sizable commitment into that, and Cloak.
That is very true. A pretty sizable push coming out. Nothing to be messed around with for Maniacs with 2 tanks.
I do like this push. He's got a medevac, so we can siege up. I guess he's... Well, he could siege up against the natural, then lift like 4 or 8 Marines. No, it looks like he's going to ferry all his units.
Yeah, well, the auto turret is still there. He needs to wait for that to go, which it's about to leave, so I think he will. And this is a really interesting push. He does pick up his units when the second medevac arrives.
Beta has no idea this is coming. This is going to be super devastating if those tanks siege up in his main.
Yes, and they are dropped, and he does not have vision of this. No reaction yet. He still can't see it.
No.
And his tanks are sieged in front of his natural. All he needs to do is move Maniac Jace's tanks up, and now he sees it happening. Can only guess what he's thinking right now.
Sieging the economy here. Beta.
Alright, so he decides to just move all his workers. That's a very efficient response, in my opinion. It's the quickest thing he could do.
3 auto turrets being thrown down.
Yes. There is doing some work on the supply depot.
Personally,
go ahead.
Personally, I'd rather see the energy be used either for a seeker missile on the Marines or have a point defense drone, because then he doesn't have to worry about that Viking.
Ooh, Beta Dre is seeker missiling
And
The green. Oh, he almost takes out the Raven. That
actually,
was-
he could snipe that Raven with the Viking.
yeah, very easy. He looks like he will. He does take it out. Backs up.
Not a lot of Marines left actually for Maniac, and he can't really. If that Viking is still here, then he can't pick. He could pick off that medevac, or at least one of those medevacs.
Oh, and Beta will clean this up. And I believe he picked off both medevacs. He's finally on the supply block, though there's so many supply depots killed.
And the Banshee did go down at the main, but Beta's down to 32 workers, while Maniac is actually up at 41 still. And he's taking our third base, while Beta he just got money yet. He has to rebuild his economy.
Alright, so I'm trying to find where the advantage is for Beta Dry, and it's in upgrades. He has Stim done, his Combat Shield done, and he has +1 attack done. It's significant, especially when the current player only is just now over halfway done with +1 attack. So, this push, now just swinging back in the other direction. I don't see how he's gonna stop it right at this point.
Well, he does have 4 tanks sieged up in his natural, so the very best that Beta can do at this point is a soft contain. He'll probably need 2 tanks and a couple of medevacs for it to really become a really strong contain. But Beta is actually supply blocked at this point. And
No
he's
supply depot on the way. It's gonna really hinder the production. There it goes down. Beta has the air superiority, so his tanks will have more utility. His Seeker missile goes down. That could be a huge one. He splits off the Marines just in time.
Okay, so he did get a tank. That Raven has been super useful.
Yeah, the tank taken down to half health. I think he could just Seeker again without really any trouble.
He does need just a little bit more energy. And that Raven paying for itself, and it'll probably help get that. No, not quite. Not quite get the pension. No third yet thrown down for Beta, though, which I'm really surprised about. He has the money for it, and he really needs it.
Yeah, the third is completed for Maniac. Jace. It is sitting in his natural. He lifted up as soon as he scouted the big push coming. And he keeps on. He got a vehicle weapons, Maniac Jace, which
Honestly,
is an interesting play. Good enough.
I think Maniac has enough Marines in his natural that he can just stim into this tank Marine line, and I don't think...
A drop in the main.
Okay, this has to do damage.
And does, even if he could kill a geyser, that would be significant. He doesn't, he just gets out of there. So, for nothing, does a pretty good little thing he could do.
He did cost a bit of mining time, and
Oh, Seeker missile goes down in the other tank. Should take it to half health. 3/4 health again. So these tanks are weak, but not dead.
not dead yet. First, I would like to see Beta try and start seekering the Marines. But
I would too.
a lot of reinforcements coming across the map for Beta, and
That is a lot of reinforcements.
I think
One
Maniac...
SCV as well? Is that to repair or is that a mistake?
Um,
Let's see. And he's suicide, and it's there.
I was thinking that he might be planning on building a bunker, but
Oh, and both players stem forward. The tanks
Well,
are doing
they're on-
massive amounts of damage, but there's just not
No.
enough Marines.
there's too many Marines here for Maniac. But that was still cost effective for Beta Dre. He is still ahead in the work, or like, sorry, not the workers, but in the units lost.
Yes, and he is flying his third over, so he did manage to pick up his third while he was containing his opponent.
He does
So-
have the advantage though of his main, Beta's main is only just starting to mine out, while Maniac's main is going to mine out within this minute. And he's only just taking a third at the same time as Beta.
That is quite significant. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. A huge drop moving out, a huge push. Is he using all his units? No, it appears to just be a huge drop coming out. And so far it's unscattered, but there is a unit heading in that direction. Maybe he'll
That
scout it.
is a massive doom drop heading.
That is a big drop.
Looks like Maniac's looking to end the game. At that Marine
That Marine, that is a
That
hero
Marine
Marine.
just paid
That
for
Marine
itself.
sacrificed its life for the cause.
No, he's not even going to die for it. Oh, okay, so one
he did
medevac
pick
goes
up
down.
One medevac. He might pick up another. It'd be nice target fire if he could.
Oh,
he
picking
picks
up
two.
the missile turrets killed 3 of the medevacs. And some of the units were lost in it.
That is true. Now he only has 3 tanks, but they are doing a lot of damage, especially combined with those Marines and medevacs.
And he's pushing in at the natural.
He's just picking Beta J apart at this point. He can't be in both places at once. He can't defend both places at once.
Beta does have a double drop going on the third.
Yeah, he's trying to get as much damage as he can, but the supply differential is telling the tail right now.
Yeah, I don't see how Beta's getting out of this. He does have 2-2, which I guess is a bit of a help to him, but tanks don't care about armor upgrades.
No, he's effectively locked out of all of his mining right now. And there it is, GG.
GG, well played.
So that's a good game from both players.
That was a really good game. That actually came down to blind luck with if the turrets had hit 1 or 2 of the medevacs that were low and had tanks in them, then that would have just been... Ugh.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The Paragons of Perfection are winning by 1 game, 2-1, in the best of 7 all kid.
So now, I wonder who we're going to be fielding next.
So, it's a Zero versus turn. Is Sanguine online yet? I don't think so. So probably not him. The only ones in party chat are us and Past.
Sanguine, Trog, and Trogdor are here.
Sanguine is here. And so I would say it's either going to be him or Trogdor. I'm going to say Trogdor. That's my prediction.
I think I agree.
I actually need to be AFK for a second. I'll be right back.
Very well then. So we're just going to wait for Past to decide who's playing next. It looks like Sanguine is playing next. And if I remember correctly, Sanguine is a Zerg player. So, no, he's a Terran by the looks of it. Okay, so look at his sets. It looks like TVT and TVZ are his strong parts. Or are his strong matchups. So I think we're just waiting for Spork to get back. Probably going to go get some more water or something. But I agree with Cyrus DeVirus. They have been pretty good games so far. Okay, so it looks like we're still just waiting on Spork.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I hope I didn't wait forever and cause people to wait.
I've just been waiting for like less than a minute.
Alright.
Are you in the lobby yet?
Yes, I'm in the lobby.
Okay.
It appears that Sanguine will be our player.
Hi.
Now, I've played against him a couple times. but he's been off racing against me. I'm pretty sure he is fond of off racing.
He is a
And
Terran player.
yeah, so he is a Terran player. So we're gonna see another TVT.
I was looking in at Sanguine's TVT, and his TVT looks like it's pretty strong. But I want to
Yeah,
know what Maniac's ladder TVT is like
60%.
versus 57% on Sanguine. So this should be really good.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very even matchup. Both players excel at it. So it's always cool when you see like both players playing both their best matchups.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
I kind of wish it was Zerg versus Terran because I'm a Zerg player and I'm biased. But it's a Terran versus Terran. TrpleT, we're down 2-1.
I agree. I do very much like watching TVZ and TVP, specifically because the drops. Like, if you get someone who drops a lot and drops really well, then it's just incredible.
Yeah, and I love watching Terran players like trying to edge up on creep, remove creep, bunch of little things, drop a main, clear some creep out in front, and while the units are out of position, there are a lot of cool things that both sides can do. There's marine splitting and baneling micro. It's just a cool matchup.
Oh yeah, it's it's very hard to say though if it's unbalanced anyway because of the Widow Mine. I'd argue that In Wings of Liberty is probably balanced towards Zerg, favored towards Zerg because there was no Widow Mines, so the Terrans had to split versus banelings.
That is true. That is true. Widowmines, I hate that unit.
I agree with a passion.
They're really strong.
I hate them.
And they're getting buffed.
Yeah, I hate them. Do you know who Avlo is?
Avila?
Avilo, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate them like Avilo hates Protoss.
I'm going to assume that is quite a lot.
Oh god, I'd rather deal with a Protoss death ball than 4 Widow Mines.
Yeah, they can just get so much value, and you need detection to deal with them.
Yeah, and you have to micro against them.
Yeah, and you have to identify which one they're going to target.
Yeah.
Like 50 Zerglings, it's hard. But
it's impossible.
That's our Zerg problems. There are 2 Terran players in here.
Yeah.
In the top left-hand corner, spawning in blue, the winner of last game, we have ParaOP's Maniac Jace.
And spawning in the bottom with, as I learned yesterday watching the ASL, the 2 efficient gases, we have Sanguine looking to tie up the series.
To be honest, I've never really paid much attention to which gas is more efficient than the other or whatnot.
I've never found a difference.
Yeah, I can't say it's been like, oh, I get my speed 3 seconds faster when I take this gas. I really don't think any of us participating in this clan war are at a high enough level for that to make a difference.
Maybe 1 or 2 of the masters could. But even then, Terran doesn't really use gas enough unless they're going mech to really make a difference. Which is funny because the only game that we saw mech in was in the matchup where mech generally isn't favored at all.
That is true. Maniac Jace is opening up with gas again.
Yeah, going for probably fast. Either he might do his Banshee build again or he might decide to go for a quick Reaper.
I would expect he's going to do the same build again. It worked well for him, so I think he's going to do it again. That would be my pre-build guess.
And I'm guessing because Sanguine is scouting with an SCV, he's probably not going to go for a Reaper.
That is true. Both players opting to scout for the SCV.
So neither player really going for a Reaper, I guess.
Yeah, that wouldn't make much sense. You already have the scout with the SCV.
I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, as we say that, he builds a Reaper. I don't understand it, to be honest, but I'm sure they have a better grasp of Terran versus Terran intricacies than I do.
No, than either of us. But Sanguine is going for a second barracks. Which makes you think there's probably 2 Rex Reaper coming out. Because he is still making Reapers. Or he did make a second, I believe. Is that his
Yes.
first? Or is that a second? No, that's... Okay, but he is still
That
making...
is his first Reaper, and he has another Reaper in production.
I'm hoping that Sanguine actually does 2 Rax Reaper into mech. That's a build that I don't see often enough, and I personally am not good enough to do.
Oh, that Reaper does pick off that Marine. Barely took any damage on it.
No, what has to be worried about here for Sanguine though is if Maniac gets out 1 or 2 Widow Mines, then it's done. Or if he gets out enough Marines.
Oh, that is so cool. He actually killed the SCV producing the supply depot, and that could set him back a significant amount of time in terms of supply.
He did pull that Reaper back, and he is still making Reapers, and he's putting a reactor on a second barracks, which is rallied across the map. So it looks like he's going to get 3 Reapers at a time going. And Maniac's just going to start making lots of Hellions, probably.
How many Reapers do you think is a point where it's just like too many Reapers to really like function well? Like, can you open with a Reaper all in? I don't think so.
But
there are 4 currently out.
Yes, you can. I think so.
I don't not well versed in Terran builds, but he does have 4, and the Hellions are going to be rough to deal with.
I don't think it's very strong, but there are some early Reaper pressures. But I think they tend to be TVZ going like 3 Reapers with 4 Hellions and 2 Cloaked Banshees or something like that, or 6 Hellions.
That sounds
but that's
awful.
not
As a Zerg player, I would not want to see that coming at me.
I watched Terran streams where the guy did it. I had to close the stream and go cry somewhere.
Yeah, just fetal position.
But Sanguine does have a command center down already, and it is finished, so it looks like I'm pretty sure he's ahead.
Yeah, it's tough to tell because I don't feel like he can place it right now without it being in jeopardy. But he does have the economic lead. He's producing SCVs out of it. He's a bunker on the low ground.
Yeah, I think if he puts a Marauder in the bunker, or at least 1 Marauder in the bunker, then he can hold and gets the concussive shells, then he can hold it pretty easily. Because then the Hellions can't really run by.
That is a very good point. 1 Hellion gets shut down, tries to poke in, doesn't seem to do any damage of significance. Stem almost done for Sanguine.
A Hellion drop going on in the main.
This is definitely disrupting mining at the least. I don't feel like it's killing too many things.
No, it's not. It did pick off 3 workers. But I don't think
it's workers or Reapers. Oh, some big hits. They're just lining up. Oh, this is not
7, 9. 9 workers killed, so that was overall that drop paid for itself, and then there's the lost mining time on top of that.
Yeah, that was quite significant. They're even on workers now.
Both players, also if you check the APM tab, both players are well above 200.
Yeah, I can only fathom playing at that speed.
I can't even APM spam that fast, and I'm pretty sure these guys aren't wasting all of it.
That is true. That is true.
I imagine some of, like, at that point, at least quite a bit of it has to be just spam, but another Hellion drop with 2 Marines going into the main against Sanguine. And he doesn't have a turret or anything up.
He's no turret and no Marines. This drop can do a lot of damage once more.
Especially since quite a few of those SCVs were already low, and that's 3 more workers go down. 4,
Oh,
7
pretty
more.
good there. If he can pick off the medevac, that's nice. He's actually taken a significant supply lead with that. He does have his base done in place, and Maniac Traces is just finishing now.
And he does have a 5 worker lead, but Sanguine also has 21 Marines, and as many of us like to say, Marines OP.
Yeah, you just hold down that A button, I think they are, and you can win some games.
Yeah. And he is going to be pushing out. It doesn't look like Maniac has any tanks out, nor any sign of them on the way. He does
That
have a
is-
few Hellions, though.
That is true, and Stim is done for Sanguine, so perhaps he could do a lot of damage here. He does have about 2 medevacs, I think, coming out with this push. Oh, only 1.
Well,
So that's not the most efficient healing. But
he has 1 and 1 more in production.
he stims 1 Marine to scout, sacrificial Marine. The bunker is done. He stims forward, targeting down the bunker well.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of things. It's tough to call right
Picking
now.
up that Hellion.
But, oh, if he could kill this base.
Well, he has had to stim quite a bit, so.
Yeah, I think he did overstim. The Marines are a little misrallied going to the corner on the bottom there.
I think he's going to get this command center.
Oh,
Oh,
the
not
SCVs
quite.
are there to repair. If he could now kill the SCVs,
Okay, so he did get a few SCVs for his trouble as well, but 1 or 2 good Hellion shots can kill half his Marines.
yeah, he needs to just pull back, say he did enough, which he did. And Macro out of us sees a significant advantage.
Wait, he also has a bunch of Marines at home now, and he does have a turret, so it looks like he was ready for a counter draw.
Yeah, that was what he was afraid of. He has a significant lead right now, in my opinion.
I agree, and he does have +1 started. And
Yes.
Stimpack is still 40 seconds away from Maniac.
I think he might lose all these units here. I don't think they should really be here. He should pick up and leave. And that is what he does.
Yeah,
And he saves those Marines.
doesn't want to overstay his welcome, but he does have just, I don't know what to call it, but I want to call it just a pub train going across the map, because that's a pretty big army, considering there's only 5 Hellions and 8 Marines and Marauder to fight it.
Maniac Jace is just now producing a tank about 25 seconds away from finishing. And a drop down in the main. The tank is going to be vital in holding the main push. 10 workers on that one gas is less than efficient.
No, I think that was a mistake from when he got, from when Sanguine dropped or pressured the natural. And now Sanguine's just going to go and push into the
Oh, if
natural. He can
stem
pick
forward
off
and
that tank. That
is
tank is dead.
significant.
The drop in the main gets shut down, but the tank is done. That's already done damage. Picks up and does lose that medevac, so Maniac is holding.
Yeah, he's down so many workers. He's down over 10, 16 workers.
What I'd like to see
And
Sanguine
he's
do
not
now.
mining gas at all.
Yeah, what I'd like to see Sanguine do now is throw down a 4th, and then just keep up the pressure. Sorry, not a 4th, a 3rd, and then just keep up the pressure.
The 3rd appears to be building right now as you say that.
He did just throw down a 3rd.
Yes, the 3rd is in production for Sanguine.
Also worth noting, +1 +1 attack for his Marines is finished for Sanguine.
Oh, this is always a really awkward moment. Both armies just running right past each other.
It looks like
And-
Sanguine's choosing to.
Is this gonna be a base trade? It can't be.
I don't think this. I think if this gets turned into a base race, it becomes a tie, because there are spots where you can hide. Yeah, I think it's going into a base race. But Sanguine does have a tank in his main, and he
Yeah, I think
does
there's
still
just-
have his production going.
Too much at home to lose everything. I think Sanguine's just gonna win. Tank is gonna be too strong.
I agree. Yeah, Maniac can't push into the main end. His main is under siege. This is
should be it. He picked off the tank before any repair could get done, and there it is. Sanguine gets the win, it appears, for TrpleT, and ties up the series.
So that was a pretty good game. I do very much enjoy watching TVT at higher levels because it's just so interesting seeing how people get the advantages with the Marines and everything.
Yeah, that is the little intricacies of mirror matchups, is that you have to carve out a lead where you're going to try and get it.
Yeah. It's a lot harder in TVT than ZVZ, I think, because ZVZ, pretty much whoever has Banelinks first has the early lead. And then whoever gets Roaches first.
So the player that was just invited into the lobby, he is a diamond player now, but he's a 16-time master in 1v1. That is a lot. That's a lot of master.
So it looks like ParaOP is bringing out the wild card to see if they can take the lead.
I see what you did there.
I'm almost ashamed. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, wild card is the next player for them. His ZVT is 71%.
That is really good.
Yeah, only out of 7 games, so it's a little skewed. But
So it looks like we're going to have yet another TVT.
oh, I'm sorry, I believe I misspoke. Wildcard is a Zerg. A Zerg player.
Are we finally getting a Zerg?
It might be. If it is wildcard playing, it appears it's going to be a Zerg.
Oh man, I really hope that we get a TVZ.
Yeah, it's such an exciting matchup.
Because
No, I have a confession to make as a Zerg player.
Yes?
I did not start spreading creep until I was already in Platinum League.
I have a confession as well. I didn't make.
Alright.
Don't think I made a single muta until I was pretty close to gold.
Wow,
I-
really?
I used
Mutas
to
are good.
hate. I used to hate mutas. I used to hate banelings.
Those are like the 2 best Zerg units.
I know.
Know what unit I don't use, and I need to? The Buster.
I don't use them enough, but that's just because I always, whenever I use them, I always seem to end up with them in front of my army, and stimmed Marines wreck me. And then I just want to go cry in a corner because all the gas died.
That's true. That's true. So, it appears we're going to be on Deadwing. And now, for those of you who don't know, Deadwing horizontal spawns are completely broken.
Not if you're Terran.
Okay, not for Terran or Protoss, but as a Zerg, they're completely broken. You can shoot a tank shot from the Terran's third into the Zerg's third.
And then you can go into that pathway at the bottom and top, and you can siege up the natural from behind the rocks.
It's incredibly difficult to deal with. I have it vetoed. I can't deal with that map.
This map, yeah, I think I have it vetoed. I hope I have it vetoed.
So I find it interesting that Zerg players are going to chose this map.
I agree. Well, it is a pretty good muta map.
Both players saying they're ready in chat.
And it is fairly easy to get 3 bases as long as the Terran doesn't siege up the third. Rather, 4 bases.
Can you say that again?
As long as the Terran doesn't siege up your third that's close to their third, it is easy to get and hold 4 bases.
That is true. They're very close together.
So if you
But
can
at the
get,
same time, I feel like the Terran can do it easily too.
I agree. So it's worth it to get that 1 tank, but I always like to imagine just the Broodlords though sitting over the third, sieging up the main, or like sieging up your base.
The Zerg dream.
I agree.
It'd be nice to have a siege unit. The Storm Host doesn't really fill that role.
I don't know. I like Swarm Host, but I I only like getting like 10 to 12 of them, just enough that the tanks can't all unsiege at once. And then you just wear the turn down with roaches and mutas. And Nidus, which is always fun. Nidus roaches against mech.
I
So
wish Niduses were cheaper. They're so much fun.
yeah. Well, if I may start off the introductions. Down here in the bottom left, we have TrpleT's Sanguine.
And in the top right-hand corner, we have the orange Zerg player from ParaOP Wildcard. The score is 2-2. Both teams are tied.
So it isn't crossbun, so we don't have to see that nightmare that is tanks in one seat attacking another third.
That is true. So immediately the map becomes more balanced. And I believe they're working on a patch right now to just eliminate horizontal spawns.
I think they're
that's
going
the
to
rumor.
cross spawn it. Like forced crossed.
I think it's just non-horizontal. It could be vertical. I
Oh,
think. We'll find out.
I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that with the way that the spawns are, I think I can safely say that it is an advantage to Wildcard. If he knocks down the rocks, then he has 4 fairly easy bases to hold on to, unless if Sanguine drops like a boss. Like drops into the 4th below the rocks, then picks up and drops into the main.
That is true. I still don't like this map because Terran can take it just as easily. And Zerg naturally is expand heavy. So when Terran gets expand heavy because of the map, I feel like that could be an advantage for him anyway.
If Sanguine does decide to go mech, then there are 4 very easy bases for siege tanks to hold, just by sieging up into the 3rd.
Okay, now immediately here we have something a little greedy here from the Zerg player. He went hatch first, which is fine. Then he took gas, I believe, at like 16, and then he droned back up to 17, and then he took his spawning pool.
Well, I think it's safe to say that you can be as greedy as you want on this map. I'm surprised Sanguine isn't going command center first on the low ground, honestly. The rush distance is so long, even horizontal.
I suppose that's true. I suppose that's true. And we have a pause by Sanguine. We'll get the game back as fast as possible. So, I think I'm in the minority when I say this, but I like opening up gases versus Terran. It just feels natural and normal to me. But the Reaper expand, which is almost always the case, can do some damage. Now, Wildcard won't have to worry about that as he did open up gas, so he should have his speed done at like 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So the Reaper should only function as a scout.
Agreed. But I don't think honestly, I don't like going Reapers on large maps like this anyways. Just simply because by the time that your Reaper gets there, it's so easy to shut it down, even for scouting purposes. But looks like we are going to get underway.
That is true. Let's see. Stripes the referee. If not, he won't be able to start it. He could be AFK. Past might be a ref. And
Past is a ref.
Game resumed.
there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Personally, I would say that this is one of the few maps where Zerg might still be able to get away with the 3 rush. Or sorry, not 3 rush. I just went completely derpy. I just read I rush people's names. Like, sorry, a 3 hatch.
Yeah.
Rush that 3 bases. That said, if it is horizontal and the Terran goes Reapers, you will have a very bad day.
That is true.
And it is going to be a fast command center on the low ground for Sanguine.
speed is done, or speed started, excuse me. I anticipate a standard Mutaling Bling versus Biomine game. That's
Okay.
what I think is going to... Wait, did he pull off of gas? He pulled off of gas.
That is standard when you're trying.
He pulled off of gas? The more you know.
Well, if you pull 3 drones off of gas, then that's an extra 120 minerals per minute, which when you're on this low of a drone count is significant enough that that's an extra 2 drones that you can make every minute. I still have a bit of minerals left over.
That would explain why I had so much gas when I was playing yesterday when I tried to open up with gas. As I said, I always open up gasless. It just feels better for me.
So unless if you decide that you want to go for a quick lair, it's almost generally, I personally prefer to leave 1 drone in gas.
So my observations when Zergs open up gas is that they take a third of around 6 minutes, which it looks like he's about to do right at the 6-minute mark.
I agree, and he can safely defend that with speed being finished.
With speed being finished, that's perfectly fine and easily defendable.
Hellions are on the map now.
Yep, not any Zerglings in production. It does have a few running across the map, so maybe the Queens will hold this off. They probably will, but we'll have to see if the Hellions can get any damage.
A Roach Horn and an Evo Chamber going down. No lair started quite yet. Wildcard is mining gas again, though.
Yeah, he was able to pick off an SCV, building a bunker. Any little thing is nice.
However, that said, this is a pretty powerful push. If you remember I was talking earlier about how if you do a Hellion Reaper Banshee push, well, Hellions and Reapers themselves are still pretty strong, even without a Banshee.
Yeah, actually now that I'm seeing this, they're going to have a hard time getting into the natural with the Queens there. So, and it's going to give him time to free Zerglings. He's doing... Wildcard's doing a very good job not overproducing Zerglings.
There is no transfuse energy quite yet on the Queens, though. And he is costing injects, or was costing an inject. So he is still getting a bit of an advantage.
Spine Crawler did go down for a little bit of extra defense. Peace of mind, it's probably worth it.
Okay, so +1 melee attack is going down for Wildcard, so he is going to be going for that Lingbane Muta. Probably could be looking to get a quick 4th down.
So I was under the impression that if Zerg's opening gas and going Lingbane Muta, they would skip the Roach Warren. So, is that true in your experience?
In my experience, I tend to go Roach Bane Muta just to have a bit of meat in the army. But if you make like, say, 6-7 roaches, then those roaches will push back up to like 20 Hellions. Like, it is absurd how good they are against Hellions just because they're not light units and they have so much life anyways.
That's very true. The Hellions keep on pushing up and are unable to get anything done.
Dual Evil Chambers are going down for Sanguine, who does have a 3rd base ready to go down. He could probably take that now.
Yeah. Okay. For Wildcard, I'm going to say that the Roach Warren was a mistake. He didn't make any, and he got the 2nd Evo Chamber afterwards. I feel like maybe it was a defensive Roach Warren just in case no one was coming. But I feel like he may have meant to get them both at the same time.
Also, well, if you do look at Wildcard's vision, he doesn't know if there's going to be mech or not yet. So that could also be just as he may be going mech, and I don't want to have to be caught off guard by that.
That is also very true. I don't think that's a full wall off on the right-hand side of Sanguine's base.
No, you're right. I think there is one hex where his Zerglings can fit through.
Yeah, that could prove difficult if he tries and exploit that.
1-1 is on the way for Sanguine, though, who is getting medevacs out now.
Yep, so everything appears to be pretty standard right now. Lingbane Muta versus some biocentric play.
I would like to have seen that 4th finished by now, though. Because you know on a map like this, the Terran player is definitely going to go for a fast 3 command center. Or you can almost say it's pretty safe to assume.
That is true, and I don't believe he saw that orbital command flying over.
No, but he can assume it's there.
Yeah, he has to be able to assume that's there.
1-1 is already finished for Wildcard, who does have 2-2 going.
Yeah.
Which, it's funny, you don't normally see a Zerg ahead of a Terran in upgrades. And double drop looks like going for them, probably going to drop in the main or try and deny the 4th.
I feel like it's going to go into the main. The creep spread is not connecting the bases as of right now, and the rocks aren't down, so it could do some damage. But it's taken a long way to get there.
That's why generally when I start my creep spread, I like to either start it in the main, or I like to throw down a macro hatch when I get onto 3 bases, just kind of right above the ramp, that little nook. That way the creep from it will connect the bases.
Yes. Drone calls are being researched for the Terran, so it appears to be biomine. That, again, is standard. It's either biomine or biotank.
So that drop has gone here, but I don't think it's quite going to do... I don't think there's quite enough here, and it's not going to be able to get away.
Oh, I don't know if he actually had a lift.
No, he shouldn't have.
Those mutas are not gonna... Or the medevac can actually get away from the mutas. If he took all of them, he could kill it.
No, but trading mutas for... Or trading marines for mutas, if he can, is always a good trade, but he didn't get to.
Yeah, he didn't kill anything. That was not the best drop.
Now, one thing that is a little weird to me about Wildcard, this is just going to specifics, is I did do the math on this for mutas, and that is that Wildcard has just barely gotten 9 mutas. Or how many mutas does he have now?
He has a total of 18 mutas.
Because he did go up, I believe he did have +1 attack when he was only at 8 or 9 mutas, which you don't actually want to start +1 attack until you have at least 9 mutas. And the reason for that is, it's just, imagine each muta in your muta ball is 9 damage. Well, +1 attack will add +1 to each muta, so that's adding +1 per every muta you have. So if you get +1 attack when you have, say, 5 mutas, that adds 5 damage to your muta ball. If you have 9 mutas or 10 mutas, then that adds 9 or 10 damage. But
That is correct.
So it looked like he got a very fast +1 attack, way faster than he should have.
That is true, but on the other side of that, it could help a little bit for us, which right now that should be the least of his worries. It looks like Stretch is gonna lag out. Oh, and he left the game. He's back. Okay, the game has resumed. I'd like to see his scan clear some creep.
I agree. However, right now with the amount of mutas that Wildcard has, it is definitely worth it to have that up +1 attack and probably even to go into the +2 attack.
There's that scan killing the creep. Oh, the banelings are rolling in on creep. Is so hard to deal with. Wouldn't mind get decent connections, but 2 of them died, so they're not there. Drop coming in on the main, and engagement coming on creep.
I don't know why Sanguine was pushed that far ahead on creep, but I'm certain that he understands this matchup better than I do.
Yeah, it appears that Wildcard was able to push him back off of creep and do a lot of damage.
Oh, that Widow Mine just killed like 6 Zerglings and a Marauder.
The drop did stop a lot of mining time, but other than that, it didn't too much, and a huge swell of Zerglings are coming in, with 3-3 on the way and Adrenal Glands.
And I'm looking for the Ultralisk Cavern to go down.
Yeah, I would think so too, but with this many mutas, I feel like he's heavily invested in that. I guess he could always make the tech switches, and he's +2 attack coming down, so I don't think it's going to happen, but a big engagement here. And he's able to run a lot of his units away.
I feel like Wildcard could probably take a 5th and or maybe even a 6th base right now. +3 attack has started for Sanguine, but he's not started 3-3.
He's going for it.
Yeah,
Game
Oh.
paused.
A very impromptu pause there, a very tense moment in the game.
that is a very strange time for pause.
Yeah. Maybe he needed to take a moment to collect himself. I don't know. That Widowmine is still there with 7 kills.
Yeah,
But there's so much stuff coming in from coming in from Wildcard. I don't know if he can hold that off. He doesn't have a full wall off. There's no bunker. I think he salvaged it.
probably. And by the well, let's see how. Let's look at this. There are currently 8 Marines and 30. 8 Banelings, 30 Marines, and 13 more Banelings on the way.
Yeah, he's really going for it. The supplies are about even. I can't open the armor supply.
Weirdly enough, though, Sanguine is slightly ahead on the worker count.
And he's ahead in army supply, but looking at it, giving it the eyeball test, which isn't always the most accurate, I don't feel like he's gonna hold.
No, I don't think he'll hold. He will certainly. He'd have to micro like a god, which it's not entirely out of the question.
If the Banelings hit the supply depots and not the Marines, and the Widowmine that hasn't exploded, if there are any that haven't, he can hold, but it's gonna be rough. And okay, immediately as I say that, he repels the front, but the Mutalisks are doing a lot of damage on the workers. So if he could kill a lot of those Mutalisks, that's okay though.
First, I think that Wildcard needs to fly his mutas into the main, and then attack the front with his Lings and Banes. Though he is going to start knocking down.
Rocks. The rocks are very significant here, because then he could loop around and ignore any sort of wall. The Ultralisk Cavern is on the way, it's halfway done, so you can see the tech switch there.
No 5th base, so it looks like he wants to get Ultras and go, but honestly, I think right now, Sanguine's actually still in a really good position. As long as he can get 1 or 2 really good Widowmine shots off on the Banelings, or even just on all of the Zerglings.
Oh, good micro there, forcing the Widowmines to explode on something he doesn't want them to. Some decent
shot. As there actually
big
one or
Widowmine
two
hit.
really good Widowmine connections, but
There's just so much.
I don't think there's enough Marines here. Even if there weren't any Zerglings, I think there's enough of the mutas that they could just get on top of them. But it's a lot of bio going across the map.
Yeah, this is definitely an intense moment. See if those Widowmines can do a lot of work. Amazing micro by Wildcard, not letting those Widowmines do massive amounts of damage. So right now, checking the unit source tab, it is very even. And trading evenly usually can favor the Zerg player, because they have more bases.
3-3 is just finishing for Wildcard, but there are a few Ultras that are about to pop, and Wildcard still does have a pretty good bank, although weirdly enough, he is running out of money.
Yes, his main is nearly mined out. This is a very tense situation. He has a handful of Marauders, but do take down 1 Ultralis, and they're working on the second. No, there's actually a lot of buying here. I think he's not lost the game. Yeah, I think the game's at a pretty even standstill right now.
Okay, Sanguine needs to drop all of the Marines in the medevacs and then just walk home, and then.
Yep, and as you say that, that's what he's doing.
That's too late.
Yeah, too many got picked off.
10 Marines there, but he does have a 4th base at this moment. He is throwing down 3 more barracks.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any Widowmines out, and he really needs Widowmines. They're what helps the helps the Terran player not eat Banelings.
He does have 4 of them out now, and I think he would do well to make 1 or 2 Thors.
Yes, I agree. He needs something to deal with his Mutalisks, especially because he has Marauders to deal with the Ultras.
Those Widowmines just killed his marauders.
Yeah, so much splash damage on his own units. And now I feel like he can't hold at this point. There's just so much. But I've seen Terran do weirder things. Amazing Baneling hits on all the workers on the 4th, killing all of them, leaving 4 Banes to spare.
And he's just going to kill almost all of the workers in the 3rd. This is done. So I don't see how Sanguine is going to hold this. The supply difference 169 to 100. But Wildcard is pulling back. The drop at the 5th forcing him back and going into the main. I would say that right now Sanguine would be far. Oh yeah, he's going to drop in the 4th.
Yep, and
the mutas.
Yeah.
The mutas were right clicked. 3/3 Marines against +2 attack, 1 Carapace mutas is always a good trade for the Terran.
I don't see how Sanguine can really come back at this point. The 5th and 6th bases are restarted for Wildcard. These rocks over here are being killed, allowing him full access to the natural and 3rd base.
It is worth noting, those are 3/3 cracklings. They'll make short work of whatever they get near.
That is true. Adrenal glands are a really powerful upgrade. He splits up the Zerg glands to attack each base, and they're just wreaking havoc on everything. So this is it. This is the final push. If Sanguine doesn't manage to win here, he loses. He's picking off some free units. That's always a good start in a situation like this.
40 Zerglings on the way.
Yeah, I just don't see it come back. And the Banelings are going to get decent hits. There's just so many.
Overall, decent splitting.
Only 1 medevac remains alive. His whole army is dead. His economy is dead.
There's nothing left. He's 15 SCVs to 75 drones. Not producing any SCVs, he's just got no money.
Yeah, +3 air attack from Zerg coming out. There's nothing left the Terran can do. It's just a matter of dying.
Did the command center in the 4th get lifted up, or did it die? I don't know if that was a planetary and orbital.
I believe it just died. Yeah, it died. It's an orbital.
And 5th base going down again for wildcard, or 6th base actually. Weird.
Yeah, he's being careful not to overextend here, but it's just gonna be, I guess, a slow death until Sanguine taps out.
+3 attack is on the way for the mutas, and 6 infestors are on the way. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's his whole army in there.
Tried to go for what looks like the doom drop. He is going to fend off the mutas for now, but that was so close.
4 more Ultralisks are in production. He's not mining. He's long distance mining.
He did lift off his orbital in the main to go drop it down in the 4th. And he did pick off a handful of mutas. Vengeful stacks being upgraded.
I wonder, did he already get Nubatized Carapace? He did.
I wonder, is he planning on doing Baneling bombs? Like literal bombs? Or?
I mean, at this point, he can.
At this
Anything he does is the right decision, except for leaving the game.
Yeah, at this point, he could afford to fight Widow Mines with mutas.
And there it is.
And that is game. Very back and forth. I thought Sanguine was actually going to come back for a moment, for a few minutes there.
Yeah, after the pause, when he had deflected that first push, I thought he was in a position where it was possible for him to win. He was still a little bit behind, but I thought that he could do it. But, and I'm not sure if the graph is on stream. That's right where it evened out as well. There's just too much production.
Yeah, and then he did kill the 5th base, I guess put wildcard a bit behind, but he probably needed to pick off the 4th as well in order to come back fully.
So now it's 3-2. And if I had to bet money, Trogdors are going to come out.
I don't want to take that bet because I'm fairly certain I would lose that bet to say that he's not coming out.
I'm almost certain it's going to be Trogdor
I agree.
because past is observant. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is he still online? Yes, Trogdor is online. Take My Hand, who was originally gonna play today, who said he couldn't make it, is now back online. So maybe he'll come out. That's a possibility, but I'd imagine it's gonna be Trogdor.
Okay. I believe the score is now 3-2.
Yes, it is 3-2 in favor of ParaOP. We're having apparently a little bit of difficulty deciding who's going to be the player. So now outsets between Trogdor and Take My Hand.
It looks like you were right, and it's going to be a Trogdor.
Yep.
I believe he is a Zerg, yes.
Yes, he's a Zerg player. According to his statistics, ZVT is his worst matchup.
I believe we are going to have a ZVZ, though.
You are right, because Wildcard plays Zerg. So ZVZ is his best matchup.
59% for Trogdor. Which I'm pretty sure Trogdor is one of the few people that has a ZVT percent lower than mine, but I suspect that was because of a couple of fluke games or something.
Yeah, definitely this early in the season, it's win rates get skewed.
Yeah. Well, my ZVT was bad to begin with, period, so I could safely say it's not very good.
Still deciding on a map here. So what kind of ZVZ do you like to play? Because I know my preferred style, but what do you like?
Honestly, I like to go Ling Bane, and then if I see early roaches, go roaches myself. Or my actual favorite thing to do on larger maps is to go up for a quick spire, throw down 2 or 3 spine crawlers, and then I make about 8 to 12 mutalisks, and then I go into roaches. And you deny, like, you could probably pick off, I think I usually get 3 or 4 overlords, and you deny the 3rd. But it only really works on large maps, otherwise you just die to an early roach timing.
Foxtrot, Bedwing, what maps did you play? Yeah, never mind, Sharp Scarlet. Yeah, I definitely prefer to go with Ling Bling aggression, like full blown Ling Bling, like
go full
17, NA. Yeah, sure. 17 drones like produced.
A macro hatch at the natural.
Okay, I don't go that far because my injects are reasonable, but
oh, I like to have like 25 drones and just a few at the natural, and then inject.
All right.
Yeah. Also,
Ling Bling Owens, they're fun for me.
Oh yeah, I remember for a while. I think actually it was Noothgrush that was the first one I used it on in the clan. I found an old Baneling bust from before tanks when he had to research siege mode and Wings of Liberty, And it was just 2 base. I think Liquid TLO started you doing that type of build. So you get 16 drones on minerals in 2 bases, and then you get another 6 on gas. And then it's just you throw down a third, use it as a macro, and you just make nothing but lings and banelings. Like the
Yep.
first wave hits with like 25 banelings or something like that.
That is insane.
It's like, dude, I could kill a command center with this without a problem, or a planetary.
Yep. Man, Shucks is funny. Did you read his last message?
I didn't quite get to read it.
Perhaps I shouldn't say it on stream. Or, I don't know. Whatever, let's go. Zerg versus Zerg.
Probably,
Although it was seen.
I would say
Anyway,
early on, it's probably, I think, the most ball clenching mirror matchup. Because
totally.
if you went 15 hatch and he went 6 pool, then you're probably not in a good spot. Or if he went like 10 pool Banes and you don't know how to split very well.
Alright, so in the bottom right hand corner, trying to make a comeback for TrpleT. In blue, Trogdor.
And in the top right, for Wildcard, looking for his 2nd consecutive win, we have Wildcard. Did I say playing for Wildcard?
Oh, you may have.
I'm sorry. Playing for ParaOP is Wildcard. Okay, so I couldn't have botched that harder.
No worries. One thing that I find interesting when players are doing the same build, like as so far they are, is that someone will get like one drone half a second faster than the other, or like a second and faster than the other.
It's all about that APM spam.
It's weird how that happens.
Yeah, but I don't even think at like the rank 1 Korean GMs could really make that much of a difference with that half-second faster though.
Oh, true, definitely. But
Unless
it's just
it continually
weird to
happens with
watch.
every drone. But it
yes.
is funny to watch. It's
So
also
both players going hatch first. So we're definitely gearing up for not a super early cheese game. There's still various cheeses available, despite going hatch first.
pull up Bronze League Hero, just max out on roaches off of 2 bases in A move.
Totally standard. Well, both players are playing greedy now at this point. It's going up to 16 for Trogdor and 17, I believe, before getting gas for wildcard.
Okay.
If either player was going for early aggression, they would win. But as it stands,
Wildcard did open up his ZVZ the exact same way that I do. 16 gas, and I believe that was a 16 pool as well, or 15 pool.
that both players are opening up with gas. I'm missing something, but that's fine because I'm not playing. Okay, speed will be done a little bit earlier for wildcard because he got the gas earlier. So there will be a brief window in time where he will be able to do some damage. Now,
I believe Trogdor will have approximately 10-second faster injects.
Yeah, because his queens are out faster. That's the trade that Wildcard decided he would make. Getting speed out a little bit quicker, but injects 10-15 seconds later.
And Wildcard is still mining gas, so he is going to go into a baneling nest, most likely, I think. Unless he's going to go for some stupid fast lair timing.
Yeah, that is possible, and the baneling nest does go down, so that's a good call.
Well, I will say Wildcard,
apparently
Wildcard does have massive balls, because I don't know. Personally, I hate putting the baneling nest in the natural, because whenever I do that, it always has 20 links running it, and the links are never mine. Same with Trogdor.
See, oftentimes you see where Trogdor tucked in his queen. Yep, and the Span Collar goes right next to it. It gives great protection for the queen against stuns.
And from there, between the queen and the spine crawler, it's at least 20 links or so to break it.
Yeah, but Wildcard is opting not to go with the Spine Crawler, which is a significant income difference.
That is 100 minerals plus his drone.
Yeah,
So he
and
is
a
going a
bunch
little
of
greedy.
Zerglings are being a little bit aggressive. Perhaps that's why he chose not to make the Spine Crawler, because they want to get aggressive. See, a
Only
decent
two,
Baneling.
only
Only
two
two?
lings. That's all they got that time. So 2 banelings killing 2 banelings.
Yeah, that's an even trade, but some drones are dying, and here's the window where he has speed and his opponent does not.
Still has about 10 seconds in that window. Trogdor starting up 6 more drones. So he
Yeah,
is confident.
Wildcard did put down a Roach Warren, so this was only a little bit of aggression, not really any sort of all-in.
Personally, when I throw down a roach run, I like to use it to wall off the ramp and then use at least one, if not both, of my Evo chambers too.
Yes, I do that as well. That extra little bit of defense can certainly help.
But Trogdor is going for 2 more gases and a lair now. And no lair started for wildcard yet.
Yeah, and Wildcard is only on 2 gases, but one of which is already finished.
Yeah, he's only mined just under 100 gas from his second gazer. But second and third gazer for Trogdor aren't mining yet.
Yeah, and neither player has produced their evolution chamber yet, so I'm sure while roach upgrades are going to be on the way, they are not as of yet.
I think wildcard's going to try for probably, it looks like a roach bane all in if there's no lair on the way, and he's not droning at all anymore.
Trogdor's going with the Spire. The roaches are going to be there way too early.
He needs to throw down like 6 spines at least right now. I don't think he's going to hold this.
It's a big roach bane attack. The lings are not going to work. The Spires are going to be late. 2 spines are going down, but I still don't think that's even enough. He needs probably 1 more.
No, I honestly, I'd say if wildcard's going for an all-in or something of that sort, then you can throw down like 6 spine crawlers, and then once you get your Spire out, it's a time game or a waiting.
Oh my gosh, there's so many banelings, and I don't think he can come back from this with pure ling.
No, he'd have to pull every one of his drones and hope there isn't any more banelings.
I mean, I saw Jadon do it against Snoot somehow. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen here.
It looks like he is trying to buy time for mutas, which will help if he can get them out. But the most mutas he can get out is 7 mutas, and 7 mutas will take forever.
Cool play from Wildcard. He blocked the ramp with his roaches.
And now so many links coming across the map, and there aren't any banelings to deal with them. 3 spine crawlers going down. And a third taken from Wildcard, showing that he is still going all in, but wants it to look like he can macro. But no. And dancing the lings and the roaches.
Yeah.
But that was a joke off of, I was watching, I think it was the Intel Extreme Masters tournament at one point, and they joked about how you see somebody go like 7 or 8 pool, and then like they'll make like 30 or 40 links, and the other player will be almost dead, and then they'll resume droning. So the casters were joking about how it's like, I only made like a 30 ling pressure. But no. It wasn't quite that funny. So I believe the last map is good. Wait. Is that 4-2? So it looks like ParaOP is going to take the clan war 4-2. So GG's to everybody, and congratulations to them.